Not sure if y'all remember this pile of mess from our first video, our property tour video. I'll leave a link to that at the top of the screen. But we are going to work on getting this mess cleaned up today, along with clearing some of this. Let's get started. Well, we finally got the big fallen down, whatever it was, structure cleaned up. A few little remnants. Looks like some tarps. I've pulled them out of the ground. We just need to get those taken to the dump. A trash can full of trash just in this small area here. Beer cans, oil cans, you name it. We found it. Water hoses, so much stuff. But we were able to get quite a bit of that cleaned up. Pan around. We got some of the property cleared up, and we're going to bring our chickens down in this area. Trust me, it will be better than it looks currently right now.
Alright, now trying to get the chickens moved into a new area so they can clear up, kind of help clear up an area for us actually. And I've got a little makeshift gate I made for my goats and stuff earlier on that I'm going to use now here instead of using that other gate I used to use with the chickens. But I've actually got one of those little T-post drivers. Saw the guys on Living Traditions, he had one. He's got, I think, more fancier one than I got. Mine's not that expensive. I got a cheap one off of Amazon. It's been working pretty good for me. I've used it over the last few months here and there, roughly. But it also does pretty good at not just doing T-post. It'll chop in bamboo into the ground pretty good too. It'll tamp it in there. The thing I figured out with the bamboo is make sure it's flat. My first mistake when I started using it and trying to put bamboo in was I thought, well, if I just make a little angle on there, you know, it just drive right on in. Now, when you do that with bamboo, all it does is just goes towards that angle and goes in at an angle. So I just get to a point where it's just a node where I cut it off flat, and then I'll cut off the other end flat for the tamping in purposes. And that seems to normally go pretty good. Now I'm gonna see how well this works, because this is a little harder ground over here. I don't know how well this piece of bamboo is gonna work, but hopefully I can show you and it works pretty good, because I don't want to make a liar out of myself, but because I've already tamped in a bunch of bamboo here and there, and once you get this bamboo stuck down in the ground in this red clay kind of soil, it really stays. It's a little hard to get up. So let me show you my little tool and we'll get to it. So this is my little camping tool. Came with this little case and tool kit and grease and 2 different size heads to stick stuff into the ground with. And then when you're doing smaller stuff, it's got this, and using this for the bamboo works pretty well. You can't use just the end, because like on a T-post, it suggests you can just use this, and it just uses the head that this attaches to on there, which is just this little pivot point right here. But normally with the bamboo, I'll put the bigger cup on there and then put this so it gets a good flat, because that'll just poke right into the bamboo node.
Yeah, it'll go right through the hole.
So they just screw onto the end. You got this little bar they give you to help tighten it up some. And then it's got a little head that you will stick in there. And it's got some little catches in there that just, you know, pops it onto the end of that thing. All right. So, I mean, this little thing, it's got, you know, it's got some weight to it, but really saves your arms from really pounding in, because you can just set that thing on top of there, you just barely got to hold it, and it tamps them in really good. And like I was showing you with the bamboo, it split the top a little bit, but it still just, you saw how it just pounded that bamboo right on in. And
Free post.
that was actually I didn't get it actually to put T-post in. I actually got it thinking it would work great to put in bamboo, because I was thinking about doing some bamboo fences and stuff, and still not sure if that idea is going to work. But
we've got a couple of pieces of bamboo here and there.
Yeah.
And if you missed our video before when we put up the electric fence with the chickens on the other side of our property, I'll put a link to that in the video up here. But the reason we put the PVC pipe over the T-post is, well, because this is an electrified fence. So the T-post is metal. If I don't have to explain to you, I'm sure. Well, we may have boo-booed. Actually, we didn't may have. We boo-booed. Our intention was to get the fence set up, move the chickens in, put the gate up. That way, while we're working on the gate, we can go ahead and let the chickens out. Jeff was so excited to show you his T-post driver that we put the piece of bamboo in. We haven't put the chickens in there yet. We can't get them through that little hole. So, one for the blooper reel. Once the bamboo goes in the ground, it's not easy to get up. Y'all don't understand. We cut the camera. We've been trying for 15 minutes. We cannot get this bamboo out of the ground. We're gonna have to cut it and actually move our gate over some after we get the chickens in. It happens. like it never even happened. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about my car being in the way. That should do it.
All right, hey, that worked pretty good. Obviously, I got the skids just right. When I saw it, my chain is, how long is that chain? Like 14, 15 feet. And so where my hooks were set underneath there to hook it, it kind of grabbed right underneath that where I've got the cuts for the skid part to go up the angle. So it kind of caught that to keep that propped up. And I didn't have any problem with it catching anywhere. So I guess that angle that I put on there, which was 22 degrees, I think, worked out pretty good. And I was really crossing my fingers because I thought it'd really probably be better to hook it straight to the tractor itself. But as you saw, if you haven't seen that video of me adding my ball to the box blade, I think my lovely wife assistant will put it somewhere up here, a link to it. I don't know where, but you know, hey. And I was looking at the ball, and I'll show you here in a second. Doesn't look like I had any bending in it or anything, and that thing's got to weigh a pretty good amount to drag. So those little thin, I thought I needed to go with something thicker for those little U-bolts, but obviously not. It worked out pretty good. So got them over there, let them kind of calm down a little bit since they're still in there while we try to get the rest of the fence all put up. And as you saw earlier, my wife made that boo-boo of telling me to put that piece of bamboo there in the middle.
Really?
And we had to chop that piece. I couldn't get it up. We had to chop it off out of the ground. So I got to reposition. So, all right, let's get the fence all put back up, and I'll be back here in just a second. I got to go run and grab something, and I'll be right back.
Okay, so it seems like we're hitting roots, so we're just gonna have to do some sit down.
right, so we found some different leg bands that we want to go with. The ones that we got from Tractor Supply that were like a ride-on kind and stuff, that using a permanent marker and stuff on them, you know, scratching them smooth like it said, wiping down the alcohol, the numbers just rubbed off like within it seemed like a few days. It probably was a little longer than that, but
if we don't like them.
So we found these other ones, and I'm still not sure about. I like these because they're adjustable. I don't know how well that number's still going to stay on there. I'm really hoping that it does.
They just click together just like that, and we can size them bigger and smaller. And it's time that we change their leg bands anyway. They're starting to get a little bigger, and like I said, you've got to keep an eye on your chickens to make sure it's not going to grow into their leg. So they got to a point where they're starting to get a little bigger, so it's time to change them anyway. What better time than when we're letting them out? That way we can get them one at a time. Here, jiggy, 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 jiggy.
Just one at a time. One at a time. That's my thumb. That's my thumb. This may not work as well as we think it's going to be. Contestant number 1.
And this way, if their leg gets any bigger, we can actually just release the clip to make the clip larger.
All right.
Where did I put that?
Go have fun. New area. Contestant number 2. Hey, that was my hand. Nope, nope. Nope, just one at a time.
They don't want to unclip as easy as they clip.
Yeah. And those are the medium size, so I would suggest on these types of chickens that we've got that you probably do have to go, if you want to go with a kind that's not adjustable, go with the large. Come here. It's probably going to be easier to go inside and just grab them as we go.
We can do that.
Because I'm going to get a rush coming out.
Hey, sweetie. So we've got all one color. So we know that our first year of chickens are all pink, and then in next year we'll do a different color and so forth, and which is typical with the way you band chickens. One color signifies a year. So for us, pink is going to be 2020, and then we know in about 3 or 4 years that we will start weeding them out.
You want to go inside? Do you think it's probably going to be a little easier to do that?
We're going to go inside. It's going to be easier for us to wrangle them, and so stay tuned for next Friday's video where Jeff finds himself in an interesting situation for our final installment of our weekend chores videos we've been bringing you. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell notification so you never miss one of our videos. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.